Hi, welcome back. I hope you had a wonderful week and you're ready for another Translator Insider. In this Insider, we continue talking about all these mental health related issues that sometimes happen with translators and in the translation industry. I believe it happens in any industry, basically every professional may be prone to it or affected by it. However, since my channel is for translators, because that's what I am and that's the experience that I've got, today we will be talking about negative thoughts, negative comments, and how to block it off, or how to somehow try to stay away from negativity in our work and in fact in our life, because I think it's very important. I think it happens in any industry. But however, I think the translation industry, it's particularly prone to this type of situation. So let's talk about it, and let's see what we can do. Simple things that we can do to avoid these sorts of problems. So stick around. So let's talk about negative comments, negativity, negative, posts, everything negative. First of all, I would like to say that this video is not intended to be any sort of medical or psychological advice or counseling, because as you know, I am a professional translator. I am not a psychologist or a psychiatrist or in any shape or form a qualified professional to be able to provide any sort of medical advice. So this is just a sharing of ideas, a sharing of experiences, because I think that's the key here, in my view. I think that if we share our view, if we share our experiences, it helps other people to understand, especially colleagues, that they are not alone, that we are in the same boat, basically, and we all experience the same things. We all experience the same positive and the same negative experiences, because that's so common to everyone. And I don't think even that is just a problem with translators. I think in every profession there will be some sort of negativity involved, because there, unfortunately, we live in a negative world. And today, with social media pages, everything, it's all about vitriol, it's all about negativity and attacks. And unfortunately, sometimes that can get in the way of our happiness, of our mental health, because we live in a world that it's all about attacks. And it is a sad situation. And somehow I think we need to find a way of staying away from those things and keep focusing our goals, and completely disregard that sort of thing. One of the things, and I have mentioned this before plenty times, is negative comments that we make, that translators sometimes make in translators forums, translators groups, especially on social media. And this can be really, really bad and harmful for their career, because when you go and you comment on a public forum, because most of these groups are, especially on social media, those posts, those comments will be seen not only by other colleagues that obviously might agree with you, but by other clients. And if you constantly on those platforms posting this sort of commentary, this sort of negative comment, you will end up putting away putting off good clients that will think, oh, this person is so negative. It's constantly attacking. And they will think, well, if something goes wrong with the project, they will do the same to us. And that's not a good thing. So you will end up, scaring away good clients that you don't want to scare away and you want to attract for yourself. So it's a little bit of the attraction situation. If you constantly negative, you will attract negative. If you, you need to attract positive things to yourself. You need to attract positive clients. You need to attract positive energy. That's what we want. So that sort of comment. And as I said again, I have said this in many videos. I have said this before. I'm not saying that we should not expose bad practice, or for example, if there's someone posing as another translator or an agency and asking for jobs for, scams. Unfortunately, there's plenty of them around. I'm not saying that we should not expose this. That's very important. But we can do it in a reasonable way, in a positive way, without the negativity, without the vitriol, without the attacks that sometimes we see online. So if we stay away from those, if we, even if obviously if we have a bad experience with someone or with some agency or with some client, we can say so. We can say, well, I didn't have a very positive experience. This is what happened. And quite frankly, I'll just refrain from saying anything. Sometimes it's the best, because usually when you comment, your comment may not be negative or may not be aimed to cause any sort of attack or anything. But then the comments that subsequently come after yours will tend to be a really horrible, and that's not positive for you. That's not positive. Doesn't bring you any positive energy, and therefore I would stay away from it. I certainly do stay away from it, because I don't think it gets you anywhere. Then another thing that you also have to deal with is negative comments from others. So if it's wrong for us to attack either clients or whatever online because it's wrong, it's gonna affect them and it's gonna affect our career, it is also wrong. And it happens that sometimes we get negative comments from people. Unfortunately, there is a lack of understanding about our job, about what we do, the value that we provide to our clients, and sometimes that will translate into a massive devaluation of what we do, a massive devaluation of our job, and negative comments. And sometimes you will find out that the worst of the comments don't even come from strangers. Sometimes those closer to you are the ones who will hurt you more, because first of all, because there's a relationship, they're close friends or they family or whatever. And obviously if they're gonna tell you that your job is no good or something like that, it's gonna hurt you. And one of the main things that you should do is block off all those comments. People comment whatever, that's their opinion, that's their prerogative. This is your job, this is what you chose to do, and you should not listen to people. You should not listen to people's negativity, because most of the times they're out there to, just a negative comment, just to put you down, because they have nothing better to do. So it is very important that we, first of all, that we don't let it get to us. We just, that's fine. If someone makes a negative comment about our job, you've got a very simple job. Why do you charge so much if you just translate a few words? We should not, first of all, we should not react in a negative way. We should always be polite and kind, and try to get it towards positivity and say, okay, well, that's what you think. I believe that I had a lot of value to my clients, and that's what they say, because that's the issue here. Most of the times we get great reviews from our clients, we get great feedback from those we work with, because they are on the receiving end of our work. So they are the ones who have to value us and to tell us that we're doing good. Other people that come to us and may have negative comments, we should just block it off. For our mental health, for our careers, we should just block it off, either from relative or family or friends, which obviously are the most hurtful because there's relationships involved. But sometimes they may come from strangers, which obviously is much easier to deal with. But again, I think we should just block it off and, first of all, talk about these things with other peers. I think it's important. If we talk about it, if we share our experiences, we will see that we are not alone, that there are plenty of other colleagues experience the same thing, because it's a common thing, unfortunately. And if we focus on the horizon, it's like when you drive. You look at the horizon because you need to look at the road, and you need to look at a distance. And this is the same here. You need to look at a distance, so you look at your future, you look at your end, at your goal. Whatever noise is coming on the side, you should block it off and focus on the road. Don't focus on the radio, don't focus on the mobile phone, don't focus on anything that it's talking in the car, the children screaming at the back. You just keep on driving and you just keep on forward. And here is the same thing. We need to keep our positive mind, our positive mindset that I spoke about last week. We need to keep our positive mindset and keep always trying to achieve our goals, to go further, to do whatever we want to do, because whatever comments people may have, they will always be there. It doesn't matter if you do good or if you do bad. People are always going to be there to try to put you down. Unfortunately, it's a reality of life, and they will always have the worst comments possible to bring to you. So if you learn how to deal with these things in the most positive way by blocking them, not letting them affect you, which I know it is sometimes very hard, but we need to do it because it is for ourselves, it is for our careers, it is for our mental health, it is for our own good. So this is my 5 cents on this, of 5 years dealing with plenty of these sort of attacks. And I think if I share this experience with my colleagues, even if you don't work in translation and you work in some other field and you experience similar things, I think this applies for everyone. If we let ourselves go with negative thoughts and with what other people think of us, we won't get ahead because we are getting affected by someone else's perspective. We should get ourselves a good introspective thoughts about ourselves, what we want to achieve, what we do, the value that we provide, and that's what should count for us, whatever happens. And obviously the reviews that we have from our clients. Obviously, if we have a lot of bad reviews from our clients, then something is wrong and something we need. And again, even if we have a bad review from a client, we should not take it as an attack. We should just talk to the client and understand why that review happened and what can we do in order to improve, because that's what reviews are about. When you have a review from a client and the review may not be that positive, then you should ask the client, I really took on board your feedback and I would like to know, in your opinion, what should I do in order to improve? And that's how you grow, and that's how things work. And I'm sure if something like this happens and you approach your client and you try to solve it, you won't lose that client. That client will appreciate you for wanting to solve the matter, from wanting to improve, and you will keep the client, and you can possibly get more clients with that. So I think positive is the key. Positivity is definitely the way to go. And if we keep focused on our goals, as I said, keep driving, keep looking on the horizon, keep looking on the road. Don't get distracted by the noise inside the car. I think that's a good advice. And that's all for today. I hope you really enjoyed this video. I was really looking forward to recording this video because I think this is very important. And today, and these days, we talk a lot about mental health, and we talk a lot about helping each other and talking to each other, having a positive mindset, etc., etc. But sometimes we just forget simple things as sharing our experiences, talking to others, and first of all, realizing that in most situations we are definitely not alone, and a lot of people are experiencing similar situations, if not the same. And if we talk to each other, we share those experiences, we share what everyone is experiencing out there, and we see that it's more common than we might realize, and we may come with a solution, of course. And once again, if it is something that it's affecting us more than the normal, then I would definitely recommend that we look for a professional health, because I think that's very important as well. And I think there's another thing. It's that myth around psychologists and psychiatrists, and that reluctance that some people have about seeking their advice and seeking their help. I think that if we have some problem with our teeth, we have no problem about going to the dentist. If we have a cold or a flu, and if we really need, feeling really, really bad, we have no problem to go and see our GP. So if something is wrong up here, and if we're not feeling well, if you think we're not feeling ourselves and we really need help, then a psychiatrist or a psychologist is the person to go, is where we should go and where we should ask and get the best advice. So I hope this video helped you. I hope it was in some ways positive, and a way of helping you deal with something that is very common in our profession, unfortunately, and that we always have ways that we can deal with it. So I hope you like it. Again, share your experiences. I think that's the most important thing in all of this. Share your experiences. If you experience bad comments or something like that, what do you do? What do you do to block it off? What do you do to try to keep focused, looking at the road? What do you do? And of course, put a like on the video and share with your friends so the message gets spread around. And subscribe the channel with a click on the notification bell so you get a notification of a new insider every week. Before I go, I would like to thank you all for watching. See you next week. Have a good one. Bye.